Hi, Mr. Gardner.
Hello.
What you doing today?
We are starting our fall garlic planting.
Garlic planting.
Yep. And garlic, it's today October 8th. So this is perfect time of the year to get garlic in the ground.
Those things look huge.
Yes. Yeah, we're in the southern agricultural zone. We're in zone 9B. So here we will plant soft neck variety of garlic as opposed to hard necks. Which,
why is that?
Because we have shorter days.
Shorter days.
During the growing season. Same thing with onions.
Gotcha.
We'll plant, I'd say the same bed. These garlic is going in. The onions are going to go in.
Where'd you get these gigantic pieces of garlic?
These ones I ordered. I don't remember. I might have got these from Terrier Seeds.
Okay, if we can find it, we'll look it up and link it.
Yeah, we'll look it up. You know, when you pull it, what you do is you just take the clove, pull it apart, and you're gonna save the biggest. Like these bulbs are really big, so we're gonna save. We're gonna plant these.
Okay.
And the ones that are smaller, like these guys, we'll give these to the wife, and she can use them for cooking.
Ah, thank you.
So, yeah, bigger bulbs are going to give you bigger garlics.
Do you mean
plants.
cloves?
Cloves, yeah.
The bulb is the whole thing. The clove is the individual piece in there.
Well, yeah, bigger bulbs. So we'll get.
That's a bulb.
Yeah, we'll get bulbs like this, as opposed to smaller bulbs. Now, when I planted them last season, when I did it, I just planted all the bulbs, and I didn't plant them where they would get enough sun. Planted them at the wrong time of the year, and I didn't plant them deep enough.
Let me grab one of those cloves so we can compare them in size.
Okey-doke.
This is some of the garlic that we had from last year that was planted and then dug up. And this right here is probably the biggest bulb that we dug up. Mr. Gardner dug up. You can kind of see the size of the clove. We'll break one off there. And some of them split. Some of them just only bulbed out to 2, 3, or 4 cloves. They didn't get massive or multiple cloves like this one did. Let's put the size of the clove from last year next to a clove from this year. First put one of the, okay, you're gonna put, so that's the size that we're gonna be planting.
Yeah.
They're both soft necks. What's the size of the clove that you're rejecting?
One's about like that.
Like that. So you can see the difference between what we got, what we're rejecting, and what we're looking for to plant. And these are still being used. These are going to be delicious, and those are going to grow fantastic.
Yeah, these should grow pretty good.
Okay. We'll see you outside in a little bit for planting. Okay, now we're out here at our enclosed garden bed that also has shade cover on it for the intense sunshine. One of the things that I noticed, Mr. Gardner, when you were sorting the garlic cloves between the acceptable ones and the rejects for cooking, I put the rejects for cooking in a container and they were cold. Is there something that you do to prep them before you plant them?
Yes, when you get those, put them in the refrigerator for 4 to 6 weeks, and that'll cold stratify them.
Cold stratify.
Cold stratify. It doesn't, it's really not necessary, but everyone who grows garlic says to do that, and it'll helps them propagate.
Okay. So now what have you done to the bed here? Looks a little different than it did this morning.
Oh, yeah, the bed. Well, the bed I topped it off. Mixed just Kellogg's garden soil with compost from the worm farm.
Uh-huh.
And a little bit of peat moss and some vermiculite.
Ah. So it's got nice. It feels slightly damp but not wet.
Yeah.
So there's moisture in there. And what are you doing over there with the yellow string?
We're laying out our rows.
Okay. How many rows are you making?
Probably 2.
Okay. And you said there's something else going in here besides garlic?
Onions.
Onions. Okay. Different kinds of onions, or?
Yes, we have red onions and 3 other different varieties of sweet onions.
Okay. Cool. So, show us what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Planting garlic is the easiest thing in the world. You take after you separate the bulbs, there's a pointy end and there's a flat end. And that's all you do. You plant it, the pointy end facing up, about 2 inches down. Oops. So you just make a hole about knuckle deep. Push it down so the top's about that deep.
What's that thing?
It's my planting guide.
Planting guide. Just a piece of cardboard?
Yeah, just a piece of cardboard. So,
what is the... Why are you using a planting guide?
just so I get the spacing right.
Okay.
So like these will have enough room to grow, and then the next row will be offset, so it'll.
So you're getting quite a bit in that square footage then.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll plant. Plant deep enough, early enough. That was a problem I had last year, is I didn't, when I planted them, I just barely put them under the surface, and it didn't do too good.
Okay. So a little education goes a long way.
Yeah. Yes, quite a bit.
Do you have a favorite place to pick up your information about garlic on?
Oh, there's there's a lot of good YouTube channels. Gardner Scott is an excellent YouTube channel to follow. MIGardner. Gosh.
Lots of people talk about MIGardner.
MIGardner. Yeah, MIGardner. He's back east.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of.
But other than weather and time of year, isn't that basically all that would be different from somebody that's planting back east to here?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Pretty much. We're back east. Their off season is in the winter. You know, when they get everything freezes.
Right.
We're here. You know, if we get 1 or 2, you know, we're in Phoenix. So if we get, you know, 1 or 2 nights that goes below freezing, it's kind of a rarity. Actually, our off season here in Phoenix is in the summer. Everything just gets so blooming hot and everything dies.
So we're just hitting our stride of getting going.
Yeah.
Okay.
And fortunately for me, my mother is taking a master gardening class here in Arizona, and she was nice enough to print a planting guide for me.
Now, wasn't that guide from the university?
Yes.
Wasn't that where that was generated from?
Yes.
Okay.
Which one? I do not know.
I think it was U of A.
makes sense.
Which it's always a good place to start when you're looking for information of your particular area from the universities around your area to see if they have agricultural programs.
Yes. I think we're going to have to make another row.
Ah. We're going to have plenty of garlic to share, huh?
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of garlic.
Okay. Well.
But yeah.
And now do you cover them over, or do you just leave them like you did?
Yeah, we'll cover them over, water them in real good, and you pretty much ignore them. You know, once they, once it warms up and they start to sprout, you'll give them a light fertilizer, like a 3-3-3 or a 5-5-5, about once a month.
Okay.
And you spear it in July.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Mr. Gardner. I'm going to go back in the house and expand on some preservation projects I've been working on. Oh, look at that little trick. Just flipped that one right over there. That was kind of a nifty trick.
Yeah.
Little cat's cradle going on there. Whoosh, down it goes. And you got a nice another row set. So you'll end up actually having, what, 3 rows there?
Yeah.
By the looks of it? Cool. Very cool. Alrighty, see you in a bit. Okay, before I go in the house, I looked up and just remembered we planted potatoes in this bed. And we've got plants coming up. The beginning of our growing season here for that. So it's kind of funny, this end's got nice big plants. There's a couple in there. A couple little ones in there. And there's some stubs in here too. It looks like something's been eating them. Like this, looks chewed off. So interesting. So we'll see what happens with the potatoes. Some of my food preservation this week is I got these watermelons from the wholesaler, and I'm going to make some watermelon rind pickles after we get the nice meat out of the center. I also got this 40-pound box of the biggest zucchini I've seen in a while. Without them, they're not where they get woody and seedy in the center, like the overgrown ones. The skin is still soft enough to eat. And so I have come over here to the freezer. I grated zucchini and put them in bags like this. I flattened them out and then set them on the shelf to harden up. And I also chopped zucchini chunks for stir fries or spaghetti sauce or whatever. This box here is 3 different kinds of berries. There's blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Just left them in the little boxes. And our freezer is very empty because we had to empty it because it quit working properly. It froze up on us, and I didn't realize that was what was going on. Mr. Gardner went outside the garage, took everything out of the one that's not working, that I store canning supplies in, turned it back on. It started working. Needs a new seal. I also have this glut of orange bell peppers that I got really, really cheap. I'm going to cut some up for eating with dip for a barbecue this afternoon. And I'm going to slice some up for like stir fries. And I'm going to dice some up for general cooking. And there's going to be some of that frozen and some of it in the dehydrator. Right now I have some of those chunks of zucchini in the dehydrator going right now too. But that is the crux of my food preservation this week, and we'll see you next time. This is Sue at Hometown to Homestead Gal Gardner. Be safe, be blessed.